it's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM, 1061evansville.com, here with my tag team partner in podcasting. Whoa, it's kind of doing the flippy thing by itself now all of a sudden. No.
It's been trained by us, right?
Well, we did a dry run at my home, and it was flipping by itself, and now it's just flipping. It's, oh my gosh, it's going crazy. This can't work.
Are we going to start over? What are we doing? Why is it flipping like that?
I don't know.
I don't see the flip that you're seeing.
Okay, now I'm in control of it.
All right.
Yeah, I know you can't see it as I host the room, so I'm in control of the camera. But man, I don't know what the deal is, because when we tested it at our homes, it was focusing on whoever was talking, and that was good. And then right there, for some reason, it was flipping automatically, but it was flipping like every 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's obnoxious. Nobody needs that.
And then, to be honest with you, I don't love being the director of it. Now I control who the camera focuses on, and I don't even like that, to be honest with you, because I want to focus on my thoughts.
Right. Just focus on me the whole time. That's what I like.
Okay, we can do that. I'll just leave it on you. That's fine.
I want to be the center of attention. Don't do that. I was kidding.
Real quick, because I'm sure we're going to have a long video. It was a long SummerSlam. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. You know, I moved out of Viperville. It was pretty depressing in there. We're not there anymore. I'm in St. College, PA again. Okay. Viperville's a sucky place. Viperville
was the city in the game Rampage. Remember the game Rampage? Where Godzilla...
Were you like the Godzilla or the gorilla and you climb the building?
It's like a makeshift Godzilla, King Kong, and like a robot, or I forget what the third thing is. But yeah, that's Viperville today.
Yeah, the thing was destroyed with 10 staples in its head. I'm sure we'll get there, right? We'll get there. Do you want to start there? Because I have so many questions.
No, I want to end there if we could, please. I did not print a lock out. I meant to, or at least get a lock. I don't have a lock handy. Here's what I can. Oh, are you presenting it to me?
I made one. It looks more like an Easter basket. But this is like Romper Room. I see Michael, and I see Kara, and I see Ryan. This is your lock. You win it, you idiot. I thought I was gonna roll you last night, especially with Enzo and Cass. They came out to that hometown heat, and I was like, they are gonna win, and I am gonna win.
No, that wasn't what happened.
That's not what happened.
I almost went 5 for 6, except for there's one that we're conflicting. I kind of have. We'll get to that, I guess.
Yeah.
But I did pretty well in my predictions last night. We had 6 disagreements, and no matter what, I went 4. You could argue I went 5, but definitely 4 for 6. But that's fine. I'll have those days where it's the opposite, and that was just one of my days yesterday. So, overall thoughts of the show. I thought it was a good show. I would say it was a B+ in my opinion. Did you have a letter grade picked out for it?
I would not give it an A-.
I almost did, legit, but I just thought B+ was more fitting.
I feel like I'm in the B range. If the whole show had stayed the way it was, the first 2 hours, man, they were just chugging along. That was good stuff.
Matches that I expected to be great weren't, and then matches that I wasn't expecting so much from really delivered the goods.
Right. I would be happy giving it a B or a B+.
Okay, yeah, I would say B+. So, yeah, we're in that same range, I guess. We can get things started. I had a few thoughts from the pre-show. Obviously, I'm opposed to a 2-hour pre-show, but just the way our day laid out, I got home around 4:15, which is 15 minutes after the pre-show started. So I just put it on. And
I saw none of it, so I don't know anything about the pre-show, unfortunately.
Okay, well, here's one thought that I had. Aiden English from the Ascension, when he was in a tag match with, I'm sorry, let me try that again. Aiden English from the Vaudevillains, when he was in a tag match with the Ascension, is actually nearly indistinguishable from those guys physically looking. He looks like he belongs in the Ascension.
Yeah, I'm so glad I missed that whole mess. You know, it'd be cool to see American Alpha, but we'll see them at some point anyways on the main card.
Well, I want to tell you, you did see the match, whether you realize it or not. You saw it on SmackDown on Tuesday. It's the same match.
Same match. Why would they do that? I guess still time.
And why are they giving us so much of a pre-show? And with 3 matches on it, you know, you could have made SummerSlam maybe 5 hours, or, you know, which seems long to me anyway. But the show length is becoming a bit of a problem, I feel like. And now with the announcement of 7 additional pay-per-views with a total of 19 now, I'm ready to bang my head against the wall.
Well, and I really feel like it does them a disservice, whether they realize it or not.
I agree.
Because by the end of the night, the crowd's burnt out. The crowd's exhausted. The members of the crowd that walked in to the Barclays Center at 5 p.m. Eastern time, or 4:30 to get ready to watch a pre-show that started at 5. At 11:30, they're dead. They're just toast. There's nothing left.
Yeah. I mean, you're wearing them out. We're not conditioned to watch wrestling that long, especially when you're in a building like that. You're in an uncomfortable seat. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so now you've already got us on the network. I don't know that the average fan wants 19 pay-per-views a year. I know I don't.
That's so many. I was hoping you were wrong about that. I was hoping they were going to alternate months.
Yeah, me too.
But now it's like, nope, we're adding 7 more, and how about that?
Hey, well, listen, this is I still chalk this up to a huge negative about the brand extension.
Yeah, there are a couple things. Like last night, I thought at the beginning of the show, one of the positives, I'm just flashing the scissors around like a knife. I thought at the beginning of the show, wow, the brand extension allows more matches to have titles. So there are so many titles tonight, that makes it more important. But by the end of the night, I was sick of watching title fights.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
Everything was for the title. Everything was, except at the end.
And then not enough had a storyline into it. It was just to focus on the title.
Right, exactly.
You know? So
you want to start match by match? Like, let's leave the pre-show aside from saying that Booker T is awful. Oh my goodness!
Oh yeah, and strangely, it's getting worse as time goes by.
He was so funny. He was looking for a term that could be used to describe Randy Orton's finishing move, but go along with Suplex City. I was dying laughing because he was like, "You have Suplex City, and then you could have Randy Orton could have his own like an RKO City," and I was like, "It's Cypherville. They've been saying it. Do you not watch SmackDown, Booker T?"
Yeah, but he led up to the Chucky Ducky Quack Quack thing, which is the big payoff for all that lousy commentary.
Oh, and Jerry Lawler. At what age do you stop wearing your jammies? You're not Hugh Hefner. Put on a real.
It's funny because my one last note from the pre-show actually has to do with Hugh Hefner, and that was that Renee Young looks exactly like Hugh Hefner tonight.
Oh my God, they have the same bra size.
There it is, Renee. Take that for having a flat chest.
Bang! Your pirate's dream come true. You and your sunken chest.
In all seriousness, though, she is fantastic and by far the best part of that pre-show.
Yeah, she's very good.
Yeah, so no matter what your bra size is, I'm a huge fan, Renee.
She is not resting on her laurels like her dumb, deadbeat boyfriend, Dean Ambrose.
Do you have the match order in front of you?
I don't, but I kind of remember it. I remember that the first one was Enzo and Cass versus Jerry KO.
I wrote that. I loved the New York music promo. I thought that was fantastic.
Those guys that came out with such energy. I loved his New York Yankee get up. I just loved that, and I thought this spells big win for Enzo and Cass. So I kind of liked that they didn't.
I didn't, and I will say that they're going to have to do something way, way bad for them to fall off of this popularity pedestal they're on. They're on a huge run.
They're huge. They don't need a belt right now. They are in a program with 2 super pros. Jerry KO, I just absolutely love it, and I loved at the end of that match when they're hugging and they're like, I love you so much. Like, it's getting crazy funny. When
they cut this great promo in the beginning, when Jericho's music hit, I was so fired up. And then when it kind of cut off early and Kevin Owens' music hit, like it always does, it fires me up. It was such a really good place to start the show with this match, I thought. Where I usually don't appreciate what are they called? The Enzo and Cass. I usually don't appreciate them at the front of the show. I thought that they did a great job starting the show last night. That finish, that back body drop into like the code breaker. Yeah.
I love that they're working their moves into one another. They're developing their own tag team moves. I really like it. I like Jerry KO a lot, and I think it made sense to start the show with Enzo and Cass because they set the hometown crowd on fire early.
I want to point out too. We have usually we record it this way live, and I kind of do the fine tuning to it later, and I kind of post it on Facebook later and stuff. We got 2 people watching us right now, so shout out you guys.
Hey, hi, you guys.
There's 2 of you, so thanks. I don't know who it is, but thanks.
My wife and your girlfriend. What's that?
It's not my girlfriend. She's working.
All right.
And I don't even think she watches it anyway. She hates wrestling.
So does my wife. Yeah. At one point she came in the middle of the Finn Balor match. She was like, "Can we watch Stranger Things on Netflix?" I said, "Get out of here! Get out of here! I'm going to give you the DVD."
We red boxed some movies for Brittany so she could go upstairs and watch those during the show. But she watched about half of it. Next match was the women's championship match. I actually thought it was kind of a strange place for it. I would have definitely put the 6-woman tag match before that.
Yeah,
but whatever.
It worked. I mean, they wanted that first hour to be strong, and it really was. I thought it was an incredible match.
It was.
Even though Charlotte almost killed Sasha Banks twice.
I almost said 3 times. And I don't know if she's hurt legit or not.
I asked you that. I said, is this a legit injury? Because her back looked so smacked up. After the one where, like, Charlotte just kind of drops her from the top turnbuckle, just
and
like a bag of potatoes.
That seemed like a Charlotte faux pas, correct?
That was not on purpose. She covered it up by acting like she did it on purpose, but she just dropped her. She dropped her, and Sasha landed on her neck, and it was, I thought, oh, that's the end of that match. And then they kept going. And then there was, like, that almost the last ride from the top rope into a Hurricane Rana.
It was like a razor's edge.
Yeah, a razor's edge. And I was like, whoa, she just broke her neck there, too. I kept waiting for Sasha Banks to get carted away.
That's what Brittany said. She thought she hurt her head or neck on that move, but I thought she may have just missed it.
By a smooch.
Yeah, I don't know, but I read that there like a news story this morning that said major superstar may be hurt after SummerSlam. I thought for sure the article was going to be about Sasha Banks, and it wasn't. No. And then I thought it might be about Randy Orton, and it wasn't.
Who's it about?
It's about Finn Balor.
Oh my.
Yeah, we can get to that though. But yeah, it was about Finn Balor hurting his arm. So I wrote that the match was ugly, but in a good kind of way. Everything that went wrong at least looked good in the women's match. They certainly screwed up a fair number of times, but screwed up in that way where it still looked okay. Yeah,
I thought it was a good match, and it's one of the rare times I watched a women's match on a pay-per-view without fast-forwarding it, because I usually have some time to catch up, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I was surprised by the winner. But I guess they're going to have Sasha chase now. Okay.
I almost thought that may have been a changed call. I thought maybe Sasha may have been hurt and said we need to switch this up. But
we'll find out.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that one. That just seemed like the wrong move to me. Taking the belt off Sasha right now as she's red hot was the wrong move in my opinion.
Yeah, I get that 100%. I don't think you hurt from having either woman be the champion, but it didn't make sense to put it on her and then take it off, and they're going to try to recreate the magic again.
The magic happened. The magic was 4 Mondays ago.
There were a lot of things that I wonder if they had planned it that way. Maybe she got hurt. Maybe that's what it did.
Yeah, well, who knows? I bet you that was the planned finish, but it wouldn't surprise me if something got changed on that one. I also made a note that I love what they did to the ring posts, how they're like digitized. That was cool.
Loved it. Yeah. Loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, so I thought the show looked good visibly.
I don't want them to do that for Raws and SmackDowns. I think that should just be pay-per-views.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's going to be a pay-per-view every week here coming up, so.
Yeah, here we go.
19 of them a year. My next note was I didn't write a whole lot about Cena and Styles. It was a great match. The crowd was so into it. The crowd was super into Cena and Styles.
I wanted to talk about it from my perspective.
Sure.
Because I feel like, for me, that was my favorite match of the night. I would call that the match of the night.
Well, I haven't sat down and thought about it.
I would call that the match of the night, and I would give it like a 4 to 5 star rating. But it's just because of my perspective. Rob, I wanted to ask you this. How old were you when you started watching wrestling?
I was 11.
11. When you started watching, did you believe it? Did you believe that it's like win, lose, not scripted at all? Or did you know?
There was like a year where I thought it was like real. And then there was a few years where I didn't think it was real, but I didn't know what was going on.
Okay.
And
There was
then,
a moment
like,
in my life where I've been watching it forever, and I believed it hook, line, and sinker. And I'll never forget the WrestleMania match where it's a career match between the Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage. And I was living and dying by every second of it because I was a little warrior. I loved the Ultimate Warrior, and I didn't want him to retire, and it made me crazy. And my mom told me later, like just a couple of years ago, she doesn't like wrestling, but she'll never forget that match because she was watching me so engaged with it. That's how I experience John Cena matches now. My son is 5 years old. He had his "You Can't See Me" hat and his dumb sweatbands and his shirt, and he was going crazy. And he was like, "Oh, AJ Styles is going to win because he always beats John Cena, but I love John Cena and I love AJ Styles." And I'm watching it from the perspective of like they don't think about scripts or backstage or anything like that. And just my daughter and my son were going crazy during that match, and I enjoyed it on a totally different level. And so,
which is kind of how you should you should kind of critique it in a way like that.
Yeah, and it's refreshing to watch it that way. And so while I wanted AJ to win, and I was glad that he did, I acted sad and I was bummed out for Evan because he was legitimately upset. Like he went to bed. He put himself to bed after that match. That was it. So that was my favorite match of the night.
Yeah, the crowd was super into it. I also made the note that, and I want to know if you agree on this because I don't know if it's because we're radio people but it seems like a lot of people are talking about the commentators. There are some that are really good and there are some that are really bad. We focused enough on the bad over the past few days that I want to say I think Mauro Ronaldo is actually doing a fantastic job.
I think he's doing a great job. I think JBL has grown on me with Mauro. I like JBL's role on SmackDown. So, and you're going to laugh at me, but I don't know if I like or if I just don't hate Corey Graves.
Oh no, I don't like him at all.
I know you don't, but I don't dislike him. David Otunga, I mean, for God's sake, put me in there for just a day.
Yeah, well, Otunga is he's awful. And then you've got Saxton, who I think is awful, and Graves, who I think is awful. But then JBL, Cole, and Ronaldo, I think, are great.
Yeah, they're the dream team.
All right, so then we'll move on from that. We don't need to talk about commentary every review show, but it's worth mentioning. I think that here's a note, and let me know what you think about this. And when you consider the way it's set up, I actually think that in the near future, Jon Stewart will be a WWE Hall of Famer. Rightly or wrongly, in fact, probably wrongly, he's going to be in the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame.
I don't know why you say wrongly. I think that he's a celebrity. He shows up to their pay-per-views. He's been involved. He's done work leading up to WrestleMania with Seth Rollins. He's done stuff with New Day now.
While there's worse choices in there, he feels more Drew Carey than he does Mr. T to me. Right.
He's no Pete Rose here.
Right.
But it's, it is what it is. He's the only celebrity doing stuff for them right now. So I get it.
He's made two appearances. Both were big and both were pretty good, I think. I don't mind him he wasn't a distraction or a detractor from SummerSlam to me. The New Day match we kind of have a disagreement on. It's because it was one of our 6 disagreements. And I think technically you might be right. I think technically New Day lost by disqualification.
Everywhere I looked, because I went and I looked for official results, everyone has the club winning by DQ.
Yeah.
Now I did say I think the club's going to win the belt.
Yeah.
But they won the match, so I feel like I should get that point.
Okay.
Because they won on a technicality, it doesn't matter. I still outright lost.
I think, for future rules, and we should establish this now, I feel like if it's a title match, I feel like it's whoever walks out with the belt should be our prediction.
All right, but that's not the way it was this time,
that's
so
fine.
I win.
But I also want to say, and I don't want to sound like a baby or anything, and if you win the point, you win the point. There should not have been a disqualification. There should have been a count out.
They weren't out for 10.
Why was there
disqualification? He came down and attacked them.
Outside the ring.
You're not allowed to attack him outside the ring, so I can set you on fire outside the ring. It's not a disqualification.
Else, you can't go inside the ring. Outside the ring, anything goes. Outside the ring,
I feel like that's a bunch of hogwash.
well, the New Day always has 3 people outside the ring.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to hit each other. He hit them. He attacked them.
My grandmother
would say, "You're full of balloon juice. You're full of hot air."
It's not an outside interference until they go inside the ring.
He hit them. He hit them. He hit them.
Listen, everything I'm seeing. Well, I checked one site had an official winner, and they had it as club by DQ. So thankfully, this won't affect who gets the lock. But it's still mine.
I wanted it to, because I would fight you to the death.
Okay, all right. But for the future, the winner of championship matches, we're not necessarily predicting who wins the match. We're predicting who loses the belts in the future.
Deal.
Okay.
But if you fight me on this one, I'll cut you.
If you fight me on this one, I will hole punch you. All right.
We're just swinging weapons around. Miz and Apollo Crews.
Hold on. Actually, I think I wanted to say that I think that Jon Stewart having the little jar from the club I thought was kind of funny.
That was funny.
I thought it was great seeing Xavier finally getting a chance to shine right now. And now it's flipping back and forth on its own again. I don't know why that's happening. This is so distracting to me. I'm not even touching it. It's just doing. I don't know why it's doing this. It's going on its own.
We're going. I feel like the camera for Google Hangouts is going off script, much like I think Brock Lesnar did last night.
We lost a viewer from this lousy camera work.
Oh, I blame you.
So yeah, and then okay. So what was next? What did you want to talk about?
Well, I just wanted to say quickly, Apollo Crews and Miz was as bad a match as I thought it would be. Apollo Crews and his dumb smile. So glad he lost.
At least they kept it short.
Yeah, they kept it short. What else? You've got Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler. I was happy with that outcome. That match was okay.
I actually thought it wasn't a bad match, but I was a little disappointed with it. I kind of expected more.
Yeah, I think everybody did. There were so many title fights, though. I mean, not all of them could be bringing down the house.
I thought that Naomi's entrance was on point in the 6 Diva tag. Right. I thought that the covering up for Eve is kind of funny, and I have a thought about Eve I wanted to share. Do you watch Total Divas ever or no?
No.
Okay. Well, my prediction is that Eve may wind up she might get herself in trouble with her social media. She should shut up.
Yeah. Okay. Is she saying things she shouldn't say?
Yeah, she's her first. It started with her husband manager guy, saying that she was unjustly suspended, and then she's going on and saying that she had a prescription for her Adderall, and she also tweeted that she was watching SummerSlam and that she wished she could be there, and she should just shut up. I'm not saying any of those things are inappropriate. I'm just saying just don't say anything for 30 days. Just shut up for 30 days.
Roman Reigns said it the right way. He tweeted, said he was sorry, and then you didn't hear from him for 30 days.
Just shut up. Just shut. You're gonna put your foot in your mouth. You don't even realize it. And
go away.
God bless you, but you're too dumb to realize that you're doing something wrong. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that was a note that I had there. Okay, then came Finn Balor and the Universal Championship, and boy, the first thing I wanted to note was, I mean, they really did themselves a huge disservice giving us that entrance on Monday.
I couldn't agree more. I'm watching the entrance and I'm like, this is so good, but it almost feels anticlimactic.
I was deflated from it. From it.
There's no explanation as to why they did it either. There's
right.
None. At the end of SummerSlam, at least we now know why they gave us that 30-minute Roman Reigns-Rusev match that we were supposed to get last night. Because they never intended to give it to us last night. And that's what the promise is.
I'm going to need you to fill me in on that because my network went out during that. I saw none of it.
Well, I'll get there. But why it ties into this is there's no explanation, no logical move at all for giving us Finn Balor's entrance, the Demon King entrance, before last night. It was still good. It was great. He came out with this crazy intensity and put on an awesome match with Seth Rollins. Rollins is he's such a great heel. Like there was that one moment, just the little things I love. You know, when he's got Finn Balor in a submission and Finn Balor goes and he grabs it and he puts his foot on the rope. And Seth Rollins like, no rope breaks here, pal. There's no rope breaks, pal. It's no DQ. And he's just taunting him. And he's slapping him in the face. And he's just such a sleazeball. And I love it.
Yeah.
And I hope that this isn't done with those two. I want them to keep it going for a while.
I actually, to be honest with you, and I feel bad saying this, I had higher hopes for that match. I didn't think it was bad. I don't want people to beat me up over this one. I just wanted more, to be honest with you. And I think I found a way that I can sum up what bothers me about this.
Other than the fact that the championship looks like a turd.
Well, there's that. The Finn Balor title win. Now, I know that Finn Balor is a great worker, and I know that Finn Balor has worked very hard in companies that I don't watch, and I get all that. But Finn Balor winning the first Universal Championship at SummerSlam in his first WWE pay-per-view appearance sums up, I feel like you could call this the Millennial Championship. Now, I've been open about the millennial generation kind of annoying me. It's the generation that can't wait for a cliffhanger to settle on Walking Dead. It's the generation that needs immediate gratification. And think about back in the day in the WWE when a new guy would debut. And I know you have NXT now, which kind of establishes a character before they get there. It would be unheard of. I mean, even people like Goldberg, who were known for coming on with a bomb, did not make it. I mean, it took a year or whatever still to get him to the title. I do kind of resent him winning in his first pay-per-view match.
Yeah, I feel like you're being too hard on him. I don't know where they're going with this. I think that they kept him in NXT too long.
That may be true.
And you know, they should have brought him up sooner, which would have given him more time to get it. But this is the time to give it to him. I think it is, because it's a new title. He's not winning the title from somebody else. He's the first one to carry it. They feel like at the end of the day, a year to 20 down the road, if this title still matters, then he's a good one to hold it first.
Yeah, it won't be around forever.
No, it looks like the women's championship. I don't know why they made it look like that.
Since everyone hates the name Universal Champion, call it the Millennial Champion.
Call it the Millennial Champion. Even Daniel Bryan was making fun of the Universal Championship, calling it like, "Oh, they've got a champion of the galaxy."
Yeah, right, exactly. Did you want more from that, or am I off based on that?
I think you're being too hard on it. I liked it. Of course, I want more. Of course, I always want more. But I liked the match. Comparing it to the next two, I'm glad that match happened. I thought it was good. It kept my wife's interest, which I was amazed at. It was good. Finn Balor was great entrance. Seth Rollins, great heel. Good work together. They have good chemistry. I hope they keep it up.
Walk me through the Roman Reigns match real quick. Is that next?
No match. There's no match, and this is why it's so frustrating to me. Because if you look at the SummerSlam as a whole, if you look at the main event of Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton and how that ends, they basically gave you two brutal non-finishes in a row. It makes no sense to me why they would have Roman Reigns do a poor man's version of what they were about to do with Brock Lesnar, which tells me that Brock Lesnar was not supposed to do what he did. The match never happens. The match never takes place with Roman Reigns and Rusev. Roman Reigns just goes crazy. He goes berserk, and he ends up injuring Rusev, and he can't fight.
Okay.
And then you go to the main event, where that's, you know, it is what it is. It's stiff. It's suplexes like crazy. It's an RKO on a table, and then Brock Lesnar, I think, veers off the road. You can't tell me he was supposed to throw those elbows. Those are elbows that are illegal to throw in the UFC. You can't throw a 9-3. You can't. You're not allowed to throw that. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to throw those. He's going to kill somebody, and he crushed Orton's head. You can't throw those.
Okay, I do not know if I think Lesnar veered off script. I feel like Randy Orton, if nobody else, at least knew that those were coming. Here's my question. Couldn't tell if that bleeding was the hard way or if that was from a blade job. Either way, it was well done. It could have been either one.
It could have been. I mean, I'm telling you, the more that I learn about elbows and throwing elbows, they're used in MMA, they're used in Muay Thai, in striking, to cut your head.
Yeah.
So if you're going to cut someone's head, you're going to do it with your elbow.
I mean, it looked good enough, and eventually Randy put his hands up, and that's when he could have done the blade. But I mean, those elbows were so stiff that if they swore to me it was legit, I'd believe it.
Did you see the cut? I can't imagine anybody could even blade themselves that deeply. He had 10 staples put in his head.
I guess I didn't see it.
It looked like someone hit him with an axe.
Well, I don't know. I will say you make a good point when you say he went off the script, maybe, because what a weird ending to the show. The show ended so flat.
It was weird. It was just weird. And I wonder if Shane came out to save it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, either way, at first I hated it. I went to bed thinking that I was going to come out and I was going to pan it. And I was going to say, we're just going to assume that's how it was booked. I went to bed thinking, I hate it. I don't know why they wouldn't give you a finish. It's professional wrestling. It's not the UFC. There are no TKOs. I've seen matches where, John Cena and JBL look like they're near death. I've seen Cactus Jack. I've seen matches that could have ended in a TKO and they didn't. They ended a pin. All right. But I woke up today and I was okay with it. I was like, you know what? This is how they're booking Brock Lesnar. He is just an awful monster that cannot be controlled. And it just kind of adds to the mystery of Brock Lesnar. I can't believe they let Randy Orton get squashed like that, but okay.
Well,
I mean, Randy Orton looked like a wuss by the end.
Kind of. I will say, at no point was I ever upset with it. It was just a bad ending. I would have put it, if that's the way it was supposed to go, I would have put it before I would have put the Universal Championship last, and I would have put Brock before it. It's just, I had a thought and I lost it because I'm doing the stupid camera work. Oh, the overpowering image, the image of the blood flow, and because it became so intense, worked for me. I was happy with it. And
I wonder if they called it because of the blood flow. That's what WWE does now. If they couldn't get that, there was no way they were going to get that bleeding to stop.
Yeah.
If you'd seen the shot of his cut this morning. So I wonder if they called it. I wonder if it was supposed to have a finish and it just didn't.
We'll have to wait for another Dean Ambrose on Steve Austin podcast to find out the answer if Brock went into business for himself or not.
But this would be the second week in a row that he did it, because I read that he went into business for himself with Heath Slater, when Heath Slater interrupted him on Raw.
What do you mean?
He was not supposed to say what he said. I mean, it was supposed to go the way that it did.
The S word?
The S word, and I don't give an S about your kids, and he's not supposed to do that.
That's his new gimmick, I feel like. He wants to curse as much as he can now.
Yeah, he curses a lot. You see the video that I posted over the weekend of him.
I read the script at least.
Being asked about Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And he went off. I take S's as big as that guy.
Yeah.
And I've got 10 words for him, and then he said 14 words. I thought that was hilarious.
And I also, even in the 15 years in the making promo, he's cursing up a storm.
Like crazy. Yeah.
Listen, let's wrap things up because we got another video to do tomorrow. We got 3 hours of Raw to watch tonight. I appreciate your thoughts. A lot of your opinions are very valid. I'm curious as to what people think about the New Day match. Do you think I'm right about this one? Should it have been a New Day victory via countout, or was Jerry right? Should it have been a club victory via DQ? Sit and think about it. Don't just read I know the reports all say that they won by DQ, but actually sit down and watch it and think about it and let me know what you think. And then
you sound like Fox News. Don't listen to the facts or anything. Just seriously, I'm right.
No, I'm saying watch it. I'm watching it, saying watch it and make an opinion for yourself. That's what I think people should do.
No, I hate that too. Just listen to me.
Listen, I'll wrap things up here because I got to get out of the studio. That's why I got to wrap it up. I always love it. But hey, I am the lock-in champion, so please bask in my glory. For myself, The Rob, and my tag team partner, Jerry Valeri from State College, Pennsylvania. Thanks for being a part of the show, Jerry.
Throwing elbows from Happy Valley. Watch yourself. Watch it now.